Hello, you fucks. Welcome to John Solo's Beard Brigade. I'm John Solo, and you are not. Today's episode is brought to you by Lil Tracy Johns. She said, and I quote, "You should use this chapter as the Storytime episode." So that's exactly what we're doing. Today we are working on a Tantor project, and this is from is it book 5? I think it's book 5. Book 5 of the Vet Shop Boys series from Casey Cox. This is called Got Me Going. Here's the cover, so you can check it out right there. Now, I warn you, when I go back, you're going to hear my penis.
Penis.
Anyways, I'm going to read you the breakdown here, the summary, so you know what we're getting into. Can a veterinarian lose his V-card before turning 25? Oh, 100p he can. On the surface, I'm super sassy and just a little bit extra. Did I ever tell you guys how much I love sassy characters? But underneath, I'm hiding a painful secret from my past and one hugely embarrassing problem in my present. I'm still a, damn it, I can't even get it out. Let's just say it starts with V and ends in urgin. Just like that song, urgin. I'm so urgin. It's just like that. A night of too much coconut tequila leads to us making a drunken pact. Daly will help me with my V status issue, but he adds a caveat, which is like a dead body. We have to get to know each other first. Then and only then can the physical stuff happen. It sounds simple enough, but the more I get to know him, the more I realize what we have is more than just a physical attraction. We share a connection. We like the same things, and stupidly I've gone ahead and caught feelings for the guy. This was never meant to be anything more than just a physical thing, so why has Daly got me going out of my mind the way he does? Now, we're doing story time from a little bit later on in the book. This is pretty close to the halfway point in the book. It is chapter 12 for anyone keeping track. There are really no spoilers ahead by any means, but the reason, well, you'll see. About halfway through, we get into a very fun town name, and I wanted to show you all a different process, It's something we don't do every day. It's kind of trying to work out how to pronounce something. You'll like it a lot. Enjoy, have fun. I'll see y'all next time. Oh, hey, and don't miss our reference when I talk to little Zhivka in here. She loves it when she gets on the air. See you later. 12. Daily. This is me, Tyler says as I pull up in front of a cute cream bungalow with a low-pitched gray roof that extends over a large front porch. Cool. I cut the engine. I'm not expecting an invite inside, but I am hoping to maybe snag another kiss. We turn to each other and both speak at the same time. Tyler's gonna be first. Snag another kiss. We turn to each other and both speak at the same time. Today was... Tyler lets out a loud laugh. You go after you. More laughter. Then, silence. I'm smiling from ear to ear, but I'm determined to let Tyler speak first. But he's holding out too. Finally, he unbuckles his seatbelt and pushes toward me. His lips brush over mine as I stroke the side of his hair. I like kissing you. His warm breath fans over my face. Technically, you're not kissing me yet, I point out. Next thing I know, Tyler snares his... Technically, you're not kissing me yet, I point out. Next thing I know, Tyler snares my lips in a red-hot kiss. I can feel the heat radiating from him as I open... Tyler snares my lips in a red-hot kiss. I can feel the heat radiating from him as I open my mouth to let him in. He wastes no time, his frenzied tongue spearing across every part of me. His hunger spurs me on, and I find myself clawing at Tyler's chest, his back, his ass. And holy hell, what a firm mass of tight muscle it is. I feel my cock pushing against my zipper, my entire groin on fire. After kissing ourselves senseless for a few minutes, Tyler finally breaks away, bouncing as he lands back in his seat. He looks over at me and smiles with his sexy, just-been-kissed lips. You're really good at that, he says hoarsely, adding, technically. I waver for a second. I could go with something like, thanks, or You're not so bad yourself, but those responses seem kind of, dull. I may not be the world's most adventurous guy, but I don't want to advertise that fact. More importantly, I don't want Tyler to see me that way. So I throw up a silent prayer to the deities of flirting and respond with, "He ain't seen nothing yet. That's just a warm-up, Ty." Okay, so not the smoothest line in history, on par with my knock-knock joke probably, but it has the desired effect. Tyler's cheeks flame, almost matching the red around his lips. I look forward to experiencing it, he stammers adorably. With one more kiss, a gentler one this time, he murmurs goodbye and then heads inside. I turn the engine on, but wait until he reaches the front door. Before going in, he turns around and gives me one of his waves. God, what is it about a simple wave that I love so much? I wave back. The stupid grin stays on my face the entire drive home. By the time I finish lugging all the boxes of gear into my apartment from our shopping expedition, I am sorely in need of a shower. And yeah, maybe some solo time too, just to take the edge off. Hanging out with Tyler does that to me. It ignites a part of me I thought I'd laid to rest. I don't mean sex, since I've had the occasional anonymous hookup here and there after my surgery. No, I'm talking about a desire to have sex with someone I know, someone I like, someone I'm developing feelings for. Because that's what's happening. I can feel it. Despite specifically stating our deal wouldn't include a relationship, I can't help it. My feelings for Tyler have moved out of the friendship zone. Specifically stating our deal wouldn't include a relationship, I can't help it. Our feelings, Specifically stating our deal wouldn't include a relationship, I can't help it. My feelings for Tyler have moved out of the friendship zone and are well on their way to romance territory via a much-needed detour through Fantasy Lane. I strip off as I head down the hallway to my bedroom. I pull on my trusty dildo and, well, he's gone in a minute. Fantasy Lane. I strip off as I head down the hallway to my bedroom. Fantasy Lane. I strip off as I head down the hallway to my bedroom. I pull out my trusty dildo and lube, lying down on the bed as I lather it up, getting it nice and wet. I get into my favorite comfortable position, on my back, legs splayed wide apart, and position the wet tip of the dildo so it teases my entrance. I close my eyes, succumbing to the fantasy invading my mind. For the next little while, I'm no longer some damaged dude who scares people off with his body. Instead, I'm wrapped up in Tyler's arms. He's on top of me, his body flushed against mine. He runs his hands over my skin, telling me,
his body flush.
Instead, I'm wrapped up in Tyler's arms. He's on top of me, his body flush against mine. He runs his hands over my skin, telling me how beautiful I am. I sink into his touch, into the beauty of his words. "I want you, Daly," he whispers into my ear as he lines himself up against me. It's him I feel pressing against my clenched hole. "I really, really want you." My lips part. A gentle moan escapes out of me as he fills me. Hole. "I really, really want you." My lips part. A gentle moan escapes out of me as he fills me up. His eyes stay on me the entire time as his presence expands inside of me. Inch by inch, I take every bit of him until he bottoms out. "God, you feel so good," he tells me, and I believe him. I want someone to make love to me like this, someone who sees all of me and desires me anyway, who can make me feel good with their body, with their words, and with their actions. Kindness isn't a kink, but it damn well should be. Tyler's one of the kindest, most considerate people I've ever met, and that thought alone hurries my hand actions and should be. Tyler's one of the kindest, most considerate people I've ever met. Should be. Tyler's one of the kindest, most considerate people I've ever met, And that thought alone hurries my hand actions as I start sliding the dildo faster inside of me. I'm ready for more, I tell Fantasy Tyler. He cranks up the speed, his hips snapping as he breaks out into an effortless rhythm. I miss this feeling, the exhilaration and connection that only comes with being with someone you care about. I bring my other hand to my cock, start stroking myself with it. The exhilaration and connection that only comes with being with someone you care about. I bring my other hand to my cock, start stroking myself with it. I imagine the fingers belong to Tyler. They're long and smooth, and they slide up and down my aching, pulsing cock with the perfect amount of pressure. I keep going, the dual action of the dildo and jacking myself off while fantasizing about Tyler pushes me to the edge until I crash right over, falling into a body-rocking abyss as my orgasm shoots through me. I finally catch my breath and stare down my cum-covered torso. Right. Time to get cleaned up. I jump into the shower before the cum has a chance to cool off and stick to my chest hairs. There's nothing worse than that. Once I'm done, I throw on some pajama pants and a black t-shirt. My weekly Sunday night call with Grandma isn't for another few minutes, so I open a packet of chips, since I'm not all that hungry, and flop onto the couch. I try to distract myself, absently scrolling through my social media feeds, but nothing really captures my attention for too long. I still can't get over how much Tyler is willing to help me turn the bakery around. I never thought it was an empty promise. He said it with such conviction that I was sure he'd help out a bit, but what he's doing, talking to his friends about ideas, spending time, and a lot of it by the sounds of it, online and doing research, taking me out to the supply store today, it's above and beyond anything I'd expected or deserve. I can't help the irritating niggle of guilt I feel in my chest. Tyler's come up with some great ideas in such a short space of time, yet I'm the one with the business major. I'm the one who should be way better at finding ways to market the bakery. I feel useless. I'm the one who should be way better at finding ways to market the bakery. I feel horrible and useless, and the impending video call with Grandma isn't helping. As much as I love seeing her each week and hearing all about her adventures, talk always inevitably turns to the bakery. It's getting harder and harder to evade her questions about how it's doing without lying to her. That's something I would never do, but I'm skating a damn fine line. I'm considering telling Grandma about the animal cafe. That's something I would never do, but I'm skating a damn fine line. I'm considering telling Grandma about the animal cafe idea, trying to anticipate how she'll react. She may be in her late 60s, but she's an astute businessman. Her idea to buy a coffee machine was a stroke of genius. Margins on coffee are like 600%. At first, I wasn't entirely sure about Tyler's idea, but after going to the Animal Cafe in Richmond and checking it out for myself, I've got a really good feeling about it. The place was packed with people. The animals brought in a level of energy and excitement that the bakery is sorely in need of, and it was just a cool place to hang out in. I know I'll go back there next time I'm in Richmond. I wonder if my next trip there will include Tyler. The conversation between us got heavier than I think either one of us intended. I related to so much of what he went through in his childhood, and I know from my own experience how much going through something like that can affect you. Your parents are the only people in the world who should be guaranteed to love you no matter what. When they don't, it's devastating. A comment he made comes back to me. How he compared his experience to mine and said I'd had it worse. But what I remember most is the face he made after I told him it wasn't a competition, that my so-called worse experience didn't make his any less traumatic. He seemed genuinely taken back by that. I can't help wondering why. I'm also curious about what else is going on with him, because I know he's holding something back. And fair enough, that's his right. We're only getting to know each other, so I don't expect the guy to pour his heart out to me, but I do suspect that something bad has happened to him. Something that's led him to not having had a relationship, to keeping his guard up, to hiding and deflecting behind humor so that people don't get the chance to see the real person he is underneath all of that. Maybe someone hurt him. God, maybe someone cheated on him. How horrible would that be? Which leaves me in a weird place. On the one hand, I'm not going to push or pry to get any more information out of him about what I think may or may... horrible would that be? Which leaves me in a weird place. On the one hand, I'm not going to push or pry to get any more information out of him about what I think may or may not have happened to him. I respect his boundaries, and I believe trust is something earned, not given. If he needs more time to build up trust in me, that's fine. Even if he does trust me and still decides not to tell me, that's his choice, and I'll support it. But on the other hand, now that I have this niggling feeling that he's been through something painful, I don't know what that means for me. Should I be more careful with what I say and do around him? The last thing I want to do is inadvertently set him off. And what does that mean for us and the deal we made? Around him? The last thing I want to do is inadvertently set him off. And what does that mean for us and the deal we made? I can tell he's into me as much as I'm into him. I'm not imagining that. The hunger in his eyes as he kissed me in the car confirms there's a strong physical attraction between us. But is that just because of our deal? It makes sense he'd want to lose his virginity to someone he knows and likes, at least a little bit. But we're not dating, I chide myself. We're two friends helping each other out, right? So why don't my feelings match that? Why am I finding myself wanting something more? I'm so lost in the jumble of thoughts in my head, I startle when my phone starts ringing. Grandma's face lights up the screen. "Daly, darling, how are you?" she says when I pick up. "I'm good. It's so great to see you." I settle on the couch and listen to her talking excitedly about New Zealand. Every time we talk, she regales me with new facts and trivia she's picked up. This week she starts with the fact that there are 9 sheep for every person, which I already knew, but pretended I didn't. That New Zealand was the first country in the world to give women the right to vote in 1893. Embarrassingly, I didn't know that. And then she excuses herself to get something, coming back with... I squint closer to my phone screen. She's holding a photo of herself in front of... It's the town with the
Stop.
longest...
She's holding up a photo.
Then coming back with... I squint closer to my phone screen. She's holding up a photo of herself in front of... It's the town with the longest name in the world, she announces, grinning from ear to ear. I'm glad she's got a photo of the name, because there's no way either one of us could possibly pronounce the town that's called... I mean, even though the fucking narrator has to. All right. Mr. Beck, I know you've practiced this, so let's work it out. I don't know how.
I don't know how either. You want to break it down into chunks?
Yeah, I think it's probably the best way. I'm going to pull up a OneNote page here so I can write it out.
I gave you a little pronunciation guide. Trying to figure out how you want to do this in chunks. Tau Matafaka. How about we start there?
All right, and I'm pulling up the Forvo link as well here. Or YouTube link, I guess.
Yes, yeah, this is the word.
The guy is way too fucking quiet. All right. So, Tal Mata Faka.
Faka. Tangi. Hanga.
Wait. Tongi.
Tangi.
Okay.
Hanga.
Wait. All right, let's do it as his voice. Either one of us could possibly pronounce the town that's called Tau Motherfucker Tangi Hanga Pukwa Hanga Kawawa. Either one of us could possibly pronounce the town that's called Tau Motherfucker Tangi Tau Madafaka Tongi Hunga Kawawau Otamatea Root. Either one of us could possibly pronounce the town that's called Tau Madafaka Tongi Hunga Kawawau Otamatea Turi Pukaka Piki. There's the first part. Let's listen to that. Trace, you tell me if this first part's okay. Tau Madafaka Tongi Hunga Kawawau Otamatea Turi Pukaka Piki. Tana Tahu. Tongi Hunga Kawawau Otamatea Turi Pukaka Piki. Manga Horo Nuku Pokai Finuwaki Tana Tahu. I don't know. What does everybody else think? Does that sound all right? I'm going to play it one more time here. Pronounce the town that's called Tau Madafaka Tongi Hunga Kawawau Otamatea Turi Pukaka Piki Manga Horo Nuku Pokai Finuwaki Tana Tahu.
Works for me, buddy.
You should get paid extra for that. All right. Manga Horo Nuku Pokai Finuwaki Tana Tahu. Holy moly, I say with a chuckle. That's incredible, Grandma. Sounds like you're having the time of your life. I am, darling, I really am. I just wish you weren't so far away from me. I miss you so much. I miss you too. I really do. She took me in when I was 15, so we lived together for a decade. I saw her every day through thick and thin, big moments and small. She was both my parents and grandparents rolled into one. She did an incredible job and is the strongest, kindest person I know. She asks me how I'm doing, softly teasing to gauge whether I'm seeing anyone the way she always does. She doesn't hide the fact that I'm seeing anyone the way she always does. She doesn't hide the fact she'd love for me to find someone to be happy with. I don't mention Tyler. It's too early. And besides, nothing is meant to be happening between us. We're just two guys who made a deal and helping each other out and becoming friends. After a while...
Are helping each other out.
It's too early. And besides, nothing is meant to be happening between us. We're just two guys who made a deal or helping each other out and becoming friends. After a while, talk turns to the bakery. I'm not sure how much I want to tell her yet. Talk turns to the bakery. I'm not sure how much I want to tell her yet. Talk turns to the bakery. I'm not sure how much I want to tell her yet. I've deliberately not told her about the problems I've been having because that's what they are, my problems. I want her to enjoy her travels and not be worried about what's happening back home. Can I ask you something? Of course, Daly, anything. What do you think of the idea of expanding the bakery into more of a cafe, making it a place where people can grab some slightly more substantial food? Her eyes light up. I love it. I've always wanted to do something like that, but it was too big of a job for me.
I always wanted.
Her eyes light up. I love it. I've always wanted to do something like that, but it was too big of a job for me. Besides, I'm not as in...
You're saying it's I always.
Her eyes light up. I love it. I always wanted to do something like that, but it was too big of a job for me. Besides, I'm not as in touch with what customers like anymore. I think growing the bakery would be fantastic, and I know you'll do a wonderful job with it, darling. I smile. Grandma's always been my biggest supporter. All the more reason why I can't disappoint her. I will not let her down. I will not fail. Hear the Imperial March playing in the background?